So we've been here in the San Francisco Bay Area all week, experiencing the culture, the ecosystem, the mindset in this incredibly special place for tech startups. Sam, tell me, what's been one of the key highlights for you from this week?
I think one of the key highlights has been walking into Plug and Play and seeing exactly what it is that they offer that's so different to everything else I've ever experienced, and seeing that actually it's a perfect fit, I think, for Data Revival.
It has to be the networking event. We definitely didn't expect very much from the event, but we came out with some really, really valuable connections, even more valuable than demo day, I would say. It's just because of the sheer number of connections that these people have.
Most people have had some sort of startup experience, or they've done a startup and they're happy to support others.
It's a very pay-it-forward culture. There's no quid pro quo in an interaction. People realise here that the network is more important than any one single interaction.
The key highlight of mine was attending the Plug and Play event, while my co-founder was also attending another Plug and Play event in Munich. This is after I attended the Plug and Play London office opening, so it was great to nurture this relationship and try and bring our contacts from Europe and America together.
Meeting a potential customer with a pain point that we have a solution for, that generate revenue from in a market we hadn't anticipated.
A key highlight has definitely been getting out and talking to founders. The amount of positivity around this area is incredible, and talking to people who've been through this journey is so helpful in getting started.
I think the attitude here is much more supportive. It's a can-do attitude. The attitude I found in the UK after spending some time doing startups there it was always a can't-do attitude. Oh, here are the problems you're going to face. These are the reasons why that might not work. People here have a much better view. They'll support your ideas and try to help you build what you have.
The highlight for me this week was all of the networking events that we got to attend out here in San Francisco, building connections that I wasn't expecting to get. With F1 being so dominated in the UK and Europe, being able to find such great contacts in San Francisco just shows the power of the network here.
I love going up to Berkeley and visiting the Sky Deck there. It's great to see the campus and how big a US university is, and the accelerator programs they've got is great to see and could be a good option for us.
I remember you being so struck that the college stadium for football was bigger than Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, incredible that they've got a 68,000 seater stadium at a US university.
And tell me, one key learning point for you from this week?
The key learning for me from this week is just is understanding what we need to do in order to penetrate the Silicon Valley market. There is just understanding what the traction we need, how we would raise money, the legal requirements of it. It's just like really understanding the nuances of Silicon Valley versus the UK.
You know, we have had tremendous growth. You know, in Silicon Valley, they have a saying, which is baseball is like triple, triple, double, double. That means, you know, every year you've got to be tripling your revenue and then tripling again and then doubling and so on. So we've been on that great journey. And as part of that, because we've been on that curve, we have had, we've been very fortunate to get some very good VCs. And, last year we raised our Series D at a $5.7 billion valuation. So we're very excited about that.
How to incorporate in the US was really interesting. I was expecting a boring meeting at the legal office, but it was really, really interesting hearing how they set up businesses here and how you can sort of transition a UK business over to a US business.
Obviously, we're in the heart of Silicon Valley. I mean, the San Francisco Bay Area continues to be its own gravity well of innovation. And I think what you find here is not only perfect alignment with others who feel the same way that you do. You have an idea and you're just so passionate about it that you need to drive it forward. I think also what we offer is just our network. I mean, we are deeply integrated into the venture capital community, regardless as to where it sits, right? Whether it's in Silicon Valley, whether it's in Asia or Europe.
The people in Silicon Valley here are not afraid of risk. They really like to see companies that are taking on some very challenging propositions, and they would fund them knowing full well that maybe half of the companies they fund are actually going to fail and they're going to lose their money. But they're not afraid of that. They are really interested in finding very interesting propositions, putting money in, helping them. And their payback is maybe a couple of companies out of the 10 would make them so much money that their 8 failures are really not important.
And the other dynamic here is, within 5-minute drive, there's probably 300 or 400 potential acquirers who do regular acquisitions. And that encourages investors to invest in these companies. Whereas I think in the UK, we also need to get the large companies also acquiring companies too. So then investors will then invest in the companies, individuals will start companies and use that as a career track instead of joining a large organisation.
A key learning point of mine was the importance of networking and connection. It's so important to have the confidence to put your hand in front of another person, to introduce yourself, and you never know what connection can lead to another, so don't be afraid of networking.
It has to be the positivity and enthusiasm from some of the startup founders and investors here in San Francisco, which is pretty difficult to maintain on the startup's journey, and it was definitely reignited here.
I'd say that it's absolutely possible to get your idea to market, even if it seems like a massive long shot. If you've got something that is game changing, there are people out here that are putting resources into it day by day, and it's absolutely possible to make it happen.
I think it's the mindset that people have out here and the ability to just find ways to get things done rather than finding ways not to progress, and being able to transfer that mindset coming back to the UK and hopefully growing Amherst as part of that.
It is such a different place, and you're only really going to understand that and understand those differences if you come and experience it. You know, I came out here 5 years ago. America and the west coast of America is completely foreign, way more so than you would ever think of, even if you've operated over on the East Coast. Understanding different markets, getting just one or two snippets of those differences will make these teams stronger, they'll make their products better.
If you come out here with an idea, the art of the possible really is the art of the possible. There is someone that will back you as long as your idea is good and you've tested it, and yeah, I've pretty much learnt that.
And tell me, if you could give one bit of advice to people back in Southampton, what would that be?
To adopt the American mindset of fully believing in what you can achieve and do not understate your achievements, and to really put forward your idea, and the best way to do that is join the Future Worlds cohort.
If you've got an idea that you believe in, then join the cohort of Future Worlds, because you've got to believe to achieve. There is a fantastic team of people, fantastic group of mentors. It's really great working with other people with other ideas that you can bounce ideas off and grow as a person. And just basically, it's amazing, fantastic free knowledge.
Start talking to customers, start talking to investors, start talking to people who have gotten technology to market that can help you along your journey.
Throw yourself at it, and to continuously learn things every day and be extremely open-minded about that.
Just give it a go. You never know where these things can take you, and just even a small idea can flourish into something great.
I think if you've got a good idea, then go for it. I think you've got to take the plunge and see how the idea works out, and being at university is a great time to do that, so get in touch with Future Worlds and hopefully you can come back to Silicon Valley and pitch your ideas.
If you have an idea, don't try and build it straight away. Test it, find if there's a market for it, and then come out here and someone will back you to build it if it's the right thing.
Fantastic, Sam. It's been a brilliant week. It's been fantastic to see all of the founders this week. It's just experiencing this ecosystem, this culture. It's been an incredibly special week, but what we're looking forward to is what's going to come off the back of this and how all of your journeys are going to transform with startups that really can change the world.